Hello everyone, welcome to the LARP Tales podcast, the award-winning LARP podcast where we tell our stories through live-action roleplay. My name is Oliver, I'm one half of your hosting duo. With me, as always, is my co-host Robyn. Hey Robyn.
Hey Oliver.
And today we're going to be continuing our recap of Empire LARP E1, the Winter Solstice. Before we get into it though, the usual housekeeping. If you are watching us on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel so you know when new content is posted to the To Amateur Roll universe. If you're listening on an audio platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. That helps people find us. Check out the Patreon. There are ways to support us in the description and the show notes, such as a referral code for Empire LARP. If you're thinking about coming to Empire LARP for the first time, using that code will give you £15 off your first Empire LARP ticket, and we get a little kickback as well, which helps us out, obviously. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into our continuation of our recap of Empire LARP E1 2025. Okay, so last time we tried to maneuver the drama that was the plot with the Ravin in Dawn and the Barons.
Yeah.
We went over what we did in Military Council. We went over Earl's Council, all the drama there. We talked about the Saturday Battle as well.
Yeah.
We went and fought the Children of Rex. We fought a Land Shark. We fought Shark Heralds. It was a good time. And we left off with coming back. We've had in Dawn, we have 3 armies. 2 of those armies do not have generals, give or take in timing wise, but that's kind of where we left off. I didn't really know what my future was because I was out of a job. And let's talk about you actually giving up your job as well, shall we?
Yeah.
The Night Protector stuff.
So I, as Robyn, have been Night Protector Winter for 2 years now. Both characters have had a full year as Night Protector Winter. I absolutely love it. Like, I love it so much. But I decided that it was time to step away from it. I kind of wanted to explore other parts of the game. I want to be more military council. My goal is I want to be field marshal, and I really want to focus on that and on building those relationships so that I can be field marshal, so I can have more time in military council and all of that. And I felt like it was time. It was time for somebody else to take over the role of Night Protector of Winter. I had a lot of fun with it. I just got some really cool things out of it actually. In the couple of years doing it, I've been able to lead skirmish. Well, I've been able to organize several skirmishes. I've been able to actually lead a skirmish. I've been able to get cool things from Eternals. It's been a really fun game. And the most fun I've had is that on all the skirmishes I led, I got to bring lots of brand new people and first-time skirmishers out on all of these things. Those of you who know how tricky it is getting on skirmishes, there's a lot of people that get bounced from the gate constantly. I kind of made it one of my goals to make sure that people that have not experienced it get to go out and do a skirmish, because I think it's a really, I love it. I love that part of the game. Yeah, so I wasn't going to run for it again. I'd made that decision. I did support somebody in running for this, but I decided I wasn't going to run myself again.
Yeah,
I was quite excited though to go and fight in the square again. That was quite fun. And it's been a while since, because obviously as Night Protector you can't fight in other Night Protector tourneys. So that kind of takes out a lot of the tourneys that you'd be able to fight in. And yeah, so I was kind of looking forward to the fact that I get to actually fight in tourneys again. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I had a good fight in the actual square. I stayed up for a long time. I'm like, wow, I'm better than I used to be anyway, because I'm still here. I was one of the last people there.
I think
luckily I kept getting healed and given weapons.
It's all the thing is I fight in all of them because like I said, you weren't able to fight in a lot of them. And really, the Night Protector, we do need some more tourneys. I mean, I would prefer more. There we go. Is a quote. I would prefer more tourneys for different things. I know there was a point in Dawn where people were complaining there was too many tourneys because there's too much fighting going on, and there wasn't given enough opportunity for non-com characters to do things. This event, I feel like it's completely flipped over. There was way too much time in the Glory Square having political stuff going on in the Glory Square.
Yeah.
And sorry, I will bring it back to Night Protector stuff, but just while it's in my head, going back to the whole Robyn stuff, I would actually prefer, and this is kind of my in-character opinion as well, but it's like shared with my out-character opinion, so I don't mind saying it on here, that the Glory Square, really, like, drama is great. But what I like in the Glory Square is, the type of drama I like is someone's like, a few years ago when the Orzels got married, Osric Orzel.
That was amazing.
Right? And Lady Ramis comes in and is like, is anyone who objects? And Lady Ramis comes in and goes, I object! That type of drama is Dornish, and it's amazing, and it's supposed to be like it is theatre, like it's supposed to be a stage. The type of PvP that was going on in that Glory Square, this event, was something that could have happened in a Senate tent, in Earl's Council tent.
Yeah.
It's drama, but it's not Glory Square drama. In my opinion. In my opinion. What I'm trying to say is that it's not just, I want tourneys in there, but like that's, I don't know, even the whole like Robyn versus the Griffins versus unicorns thing. By our brief, I feel like we should have just had a tourney.
Honestly, that's what I think we should have had there.
Yeah,
I think that should have just been a tourney.
Would have been more on brief.
It would have been more fun.
Yeah.
It would have been more on brief. It would have been fun. Yeah. And that tourney could have, gone on and on. I mean, like a Griffins versus Unicorn tourney would have been.
Yeah. Because we used to have, like, before we even started playing, we used to have like tournaments to pick senators. It used to be a tournament. The tournaments used to be a massive thing, and I just feel like they're just starting to slip away from us a bit.
Yeah.
The Night Protector ones are the only ones that's kind of left. And there's no like impromptu like, I'm going to make a tourney. It just didn't seem to happen this event. Sorry, but bring it back around to Night Protector. We had a good fight in there. The side we were supporting didn't win, but I feel like because they had us on numbers, they were struggling to get us down there. Like we gave them a fight.
When we got to the end and I was up again, I was like, right. And I stood there and I just stopped for a second. I looked around and I was like, there's 5 of you in front of me.
They outnumbered us by quite a bit.
And they're over there. I was like, I'm still going to go down fighting. I'm on 1 hit point at this point, let's go for this. Yeah. It was quite funny actually at the end because I give this a look to the people opposite. I was like, I know you've got me here.
Yeah.
But I'm not just good. I'll be taking at least one of you with me, and I did. And that was good fun. If you're the person who plays the lady who was standing at the entranceway, you were amazing because I fell back out of the Glory Square and I look up and there is someone standing there in this beautiful long dress and I'm just there on my head at her feet looking on. I was like, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm currently bleeding out. Were you able to help me? It was like this really awkward, hello.
Yeah, so I mean, like our house is a winter house, and because we have the legacy of like the Night Protector, so we've held the Night Protector in the house of winter in the house for 3 years in a row. So since we came back from like the COVID times, and since we started playing, Mortail's always had the Night Protector. So I was like, it doesn't matter who, even if the person who we were supporting got it, I was like, nah, for me as a Mortail noble, unless it's a Mortail that I was supporting, I was like, but I had it in my head, I'm like, they're literally going to have to try and kill me, basically, to get me out of that square. I wasn't going to yield at all. And I think the person who got it, who just so happened to be a Mortail last character.
Happens to be an ex-Mortail.
I think obviously got that idea, and I was just like, no, I was like, you're literally, and then it was cool because I got basically I got what I wanted because I was like, we got crushed up against the side, and I was just like, okay, I'm bleeding out, and someone pumped me up to like 3 hit points. Then I got hit, and then I was like, I just said, hey, stop. I'm not, because everyone was then going, oh, do you yield? And I was like, I stood up, and I said to the crowd, I was like, I'm not going to yield. You will have to down me but can we just do it over there where there's more space?
Oh yeah, because we're kind of like up against the rope. We're like, can we just?
Yeah, I said I'm not yielding, but I am walking over to other space. Yeah, the candidate got me down, and I was like, yeah, I just want to make this a whole thing. And then luckily a ref came running over and was like, here's a traumatic wound. So because I wanted to make a big scene of me being like almost dying. I was like, you literally had to skewer me through the heart to give it up. Which is kind of how I wanted to go out, like for just a point on the end of Mortaire's like Rain as Night Protectors, just like there's not a chance. Especially it's thematic as well for winter.
Well, that was the thing. Like, I think I was one of the last like 3 people still standing in there, and my sword was shattered. My other swords were on the other side of the square, but you were down on the ground, so I just took your sword. I was like, well, that sword's shattered. I guess I'll just take your one.
Yeah,
that Damon will be fine. He's got this. Yeah, right, who's next?
Yeah. So that was my second surgery of the event. Yeah.
They did things a little bit differently this time as well, which I do quite like. So what they did this time is they had like the refs taking note of what abilities we all had going into there. And because the thing is with tourneys, there is always that little argument of, well, how many hit points that person actually have, you know?
Yeah, do you think that's due to people flagging this in the past?
Maybe. There's definitely been a tourney
they seem to be getting heavier and heavier with it. Because this time last year, there was refs for your one. You won it last year. But this time they had about 10 refs
well,
in there.
There's definitely been a training that I was involved in where there was certain people where I was like, how many hits do you have? Because I'm up to 20 something now and you're still standing. So maybe that has been flagged. But I had to tell them about my like
curse. No refs. There used to be no refs at all.
Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, I've got a sword, does this. I've got this pile of they weren't like taking like a complete inventory. It was a case of, hey, here's a pile of Scops mead that I've got here and like a load of Elixir of AT because we had a lot of them.
Yeah, they just wanted to know if anyone had any like mass calls or any crazy weapons that cause like.
Who would do a mass call in a tourney?
Yeah, I was half expecting it.
Well, the thing is, there was a rumor.
It was a rumor.
So there was a rumor at the start that the other side had a mass weakness because we did that last year. And I was like, okay, well, I've done a mass weakness in the Glory Square, and I remember what I was worried about happening. And I was worried that if they just surrounded and charged us quick enough, we wouldn't have been able to get it off. And I know that only certain people could cast it. So I was like standing there to our friend who was running for it. And I was with our friend. I was like, I think only those 3 over there are able to cast this, by the way. Nobody else should be able to cast this. So if we just charge those 3 down, and if they've got a mass weakness, they're going to be screwed. But at first I was like, do you know what? When I first started with like these tourneys, there was no like sides or like groups or anything. It was a bit more of a free-for-all. And I was like, well, actually, if we split us up, so half of us are over in that corner and half of us in that corner, if they've got a mass weakness, they're going to have to pick which side they aim it for. And as we said that, the egregore went, right, if you're supporting a side, go to that side now. And I was like, oh, come on. We were going to surround them like straight away. But yeah, I mean, like,
it was a good fight.
It was a fun fight. I had a lot of fun. The group that I fought, I had a lot of fun with them. It was just hilarious. I accidentally got a ref in the neck. Yeah. I got him in the neck. I was like, I am so sorry. And they like role played dying at the side of the square. And I was like, oh no, someone help them.
Oh, they don't exist in world. It's fine.
Oh dear. No, it was good fun.
So Night Protector done. So at that point we both lost our jobs. So there wasn't really too much. Well, we were a little bit like, all right, what do we do now?
It was a weird one, wasn't it? Because it was like, we were kind of like it's obviously like midday, and we're a bit like, oh, what do we do now and everything.
It was midday. It was like 3:00.
Yeah.
We had the senator election.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably going to be talked about on another podcast, a different podcast than ours. So that was cool. Then there was some crazy things happening in the Glory Square. there was some cursed people. They had a blood curse, didn't they?
Yeah, so there was people like screaming and everything, basically running down to the camp being like, oh, someone's being cursed and they're cleaving everyone in the glory square. And we're like, okay, well, we'll just take them out then. And it was a bit of a strange one at first. And we're like, okay, fine, we're just going to take them out. And then we walked up there. And I walked up and I just went, cleave. The second I did that, giddy little ref running over to me with a card.
You being cursed.
You being cursed.
Yeah, what did it say on the card?
Like,
You remember?
Oh my God.
It was basically you want to challenge people, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, I wanted to challenge people, but the idea of blood being drawn made me excited and I wanted to see blood shed.
Yeah.
So there was all of that and that's what I wanted to do. So like there was the other person cursed and they were like, oh, somebody's to stop them and everything. And I was like, I want to see what they're going to do because I'm excited to see bloodshed and everything. And basically one of our friends ended up managing to convince Nymeria to step into the Orzel tent. I was very confused as to why. Like, see, I still had no idea. I was like, why are you trying to get me to go into this tent? I have a big sword.
I didn't know that.
I was so confused. No, come, keep your weapons on you. It's fine. Come into the tent. Come into the tent. You can get like area effects where you'll go into certain tents in certain places and there'll be a laminated slip on the door. And this entire tent was under this sort of effect where basically it made you feel quite calm and happy and at peace. And I was like, I literally walked out, turned around to him. I was like, oh, you asshole. I can't believe you just did that. And then I was about to cut everyone down. I was about to finally get to grapple in that glory square again. He was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, because I came in. Yeah, it was Thomas Durandal had you there. We had to get a winter ritual to figure out what the curse was. The balance blade, isn't it? I can't remember the full name of it. But yeah, I ended up going and grabbing, because the thing is, I knew like 2 or 3 people with this ritual. I wasn't one of them, and everyone else was gone. So I was like, they're like, oh yeah, Morterra will know it, and then go to Morterra, and just typical is like nobody's there. But then I did bump into Elaine, and I was like, Elaine, do you know this? And she was like, well, I could do if we just go to God and I just learned the ritual.
Yeah, literally, she went to like demigod, didn't she, and just learned it and then ran back up.
Yeah, so that was only to, because you got quite confused, because that was only to identify the curse.
Yeah, they did like so like Thomas Durandal had like these like tarot cards and everything, or these like spell cards, and they did this whole thing
with runes,
the rune cards.
Well, that was interesting because I think the focus could be like blood can be a focus for rituals. And that's in Mortair, that tends to be what we do for our rituals, is use blood as the focus. But then, so Elaine was like, oh yeah, I'll just have a knife. And then we were like, not for this one. This is probably not a good idea. I left the tent after that, so I don't know I'm assuming the ritual was cool, was it?
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun and everything. We did a lot of role play back and forward and stuff as they like kind of found things out. And this was actually just before the Night Protector tourney because I was in a rush. And I was like, that's right, we need to kind of like get to the end of this because weird, I was like, there's 5 minutes for this tourney and I've needed to pee for about 3 hours. So we kind of need to go a bit here. And then like in my head, I thought they had kind of like figured things out. So I went off, did all that, all the rest of it, came back, and I found out later that in fact, I would have had to have like an exorcism.
Yeah, exorcism, yeah. Basically it was a Volodny curse. So yeah, not a great thing to have. But you had an item that like kept you calm.
Yeah,
anyway.
Thomas Darnell gave me like a ribbon and item on my possession that just kind of calmed the effects of it, and we just kind of like role played that out for a bit.
And then I just exercised you.
Yeah.
Later, I'm thinking about getting rid of exorcism actually.
Yeah, you were saying that, right?
Yeah, I don't know, like my because I've got like, because I just wanted to be an exorcist, so I go like dedication then exorcism. I don't really get to use it. I mean, I've got to use it, but like I feel like maybe getting rid of them. Things with Damon, I've like tried pretty much all the different aspects of the game. The only thing I haven't really done is like on the magic side is obviously the combat magic, because I'd have to like get mage armor and things like that. But
yeah,
we're doing more ritual magic now. Like the group wants to do more ritual magic, so I might and change it up a bit. But yeah, we ended up just going to the marches, didn't we, for the rest of the evening. There was actually obviously there was a time where the Griffin's Pride had been elected new general, and then they were like, okay, well, one of the senators came up to me and was just like, well, yeah, when do we need to? So for people who don't know how it works when it comes to generals, senators, so the senators, I'm pretty sure this is how it works in every nation. Senators get to pick generals, right? The idea is to separate those two sides of the game, those institutions. So if you're a senator, you're not allowed in military council. The senators are elected by the people of the nation. And there are different ways of doing that. All the different nations do that different ways. But you have senator for each territory. The senators then together decide on who the generals are for the armies. You need all the senators present, or all senators be alive and present to then pick a general. And a general is there to order. Obviously, they have to do things over the course of the summit, but their army is just sitting there on the campaign map.
Yeah.
Right. So the general needs to be present at the end of the event to put orders into that army. Otherwise, they're just like floating there, having nothing to do because they've not got orders. So when you're down a senator, because we were down the senator of Weirwater, because the senator of Weirwater, who was a Mortair, died last event, we didn't have a senator for Weirwater, so we couldn't elect generals until we had a senator. So then we had 4 senators, but then we only had 1 general. So
we also were down Asla as well.
And we were down Astalat as well. No, Astalat was up for...
Asla was up this time.
Astalat was just up for action. Yeah. So, yeah, we had 2 armies that didn't have generals. Then Griffin's Pride got 1. And, yeah, it was a bit of like do we want to go for Golden Sun? And we didn't know. It was a weird event all round because like we were like going, oh, yeah, we don't know what we want to do. We don't know when there's going to be a selection process because it's up to the senators how they select their generals. It's completely up to them. Whereas like selecting a senator, there's like votes and things like that. Different, like I said, different nations vote their senators in different ways, but it's always picked by the people of that nation. So in Dawn, it's nobles that get to vote. So that's if you are a noble, you get to vote on your senator for your territory. But the senators get to decide amongst themselves how they decide for generals. So we knew there has to be a Golden Sun general for before Sunday. We had no idea what their plans were at all. So we were like, I guess we'll just go in. And we hadn't had anything to eat at that point. So we were like, we'll go to the marches and we got some free soup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went to the marches and we're like, well, we're all absolutely starving. And we're like, okay, we'll go to the marches. They always have food. So we'll go there, we'll grab something there. And we ended up just getting like top-ups and top-ups of soup. The soup in the marches is really good. I highly recommend everybody go there. And you got creme brulee.
Creme brulee. Like, so I never buy things from... Maybe it's because I'm tired. I don't know. But I never buy things when people come around and be like, oh, would you like some of this? Would you like something? Would you like a brownie? Would you like this? Would you like that? I never just buy things on a whim. But someone came and went, creme brulee. I was like, creme brulee? Like
they were their little blowtorch and everything.
Oh, the blowtorch. Oh, it was worth it. Yeah, they had the sugar and it was good. Like, it was good creme brulee, you know? It was worth it. It was like a crown, but it was...
2 crowns, I think.
No, it was 1 crown.
Oh, was it 1 crown?
Yeah, 1 crown. But no, it was, yeah, I think it was a crown. Crown's quite expensive for just a treat. But I was just like, no, sod it. I'm getting a creme brulee. I was like, I need this pick me up. It's been a stressful weekend. But yeah, I enjoyed my creme brulee. We just mooched about, didn't we? Mooched about in the marches. We started drinking.
Yeah, we had some fun. We started drinking, we mooched around and everything. We just had like a bit of fun just with like some of our marcher friends for Pit, which was quite nice.
Yeah. Is there anything else we did before the crazy thing happened?
I don't think anything else happened before the crazy thing happened, to be honest. I'm thinking, I think a lot of the other things we did were all squashed into the time after the crazy thing and time out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of fun stuff after the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of fun stuff.
So we were like, right, okay, I still have my armor on. Oh, that's right, yeah, because we were maybe going to go on a skirmish, and then we weren't going to go on a skirmish. So we went, we're not going on this skirmish, so we'll dig it. It was getting cold as well. So
oh, yeah, because like I had a ritual on me, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
I had a ritual which gave me another 4 ranks of endurance, which is amazing. But one part of it was I couldn't take my armor off.
Yeah.
So I had to have like my armor on all weekend and stuff. And I was like, well, that's fine. I have my armor on anyway. It doesn't come off me. But then like we decided I wasn't going to do it because I wasn't going to fight that evening and stuff. So I was like, actually, let's just go get all the armor off and just, chill.
Yeah, and then we were literally getting changed.
Like literally in the tent, getting changed.
And then someone comes running into the camp, and I think it was Elaine that was there, but didn't realize that we were there. And we just heard someone go like, "Oh, yeah," we heard a load of noise outside, and then we came out, and then Elaine was like, "Oh, you're both here." Someone just came down looking for you, and I was like, "All right." And this is late, isn't it? This is like what, 9 p.m., 8, 9,
8, 9 sort of time, yeah.
It must be 9. It must be.
Yeah.
Oh no, it has to be, because remember the skirmish we were going to go on was at like 8:30, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that had already come and gone, so it was late.
Yeah, it was late at night, yeah.
And they went, oh, they went up there. So anyway, someone had come down. The new general of the Griffin's Pride had come down and been like, oh yeah, are you interested in being? Well, both of us. They were like, are you interested in being general for the Golden Sun? And it was weird because the whole weekend I've been like, do I want to try and put myself forward for this? Do I not want to do it? Do I want this job? Don't I want the job? How do I feel about military council? It's been a crazy time in Dawn. It's been crazy PvP with the generals. The nation is in a bit of a state at the minute, like on the campaign map, on the field. It's a crazy time. And I was just like, do I want to be doing this now? And I didn't know. But then when they were like, are you interested? And I just went, yeah. And I just went for it. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was half dressed. I was just half drunk.
Literally like drunk, just seeing half like leg in a trouser sort of thing. Like, yep, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. So I went all the way up to the Senate building, and they were already conducting the interviews because they did like an interview process for it. And then, you were like, because I mean, I know you'd been interested in the generalship as well. But I think you were like, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that was the thing, because I was like, no, like you're the one that is running for this, and I know you were kind of like swithering quite a lot on whether you wanted to go for it or not. But that's the thing. I think when you get that moment of right, you need to decide now. Well, I think you just instantly decided.
So I think you were trying to do that earlier. I think you would, because you had said, look, if you don't run for it, I'm going to run for it. I think you were trying to basically like push me into like. Yeah, run for it. Because basically,
like if you in that moment said I'm not running for it, I would have ran for it. But it was more just, but I wasn't really ready for that. It would have. Yeah. I was kind of hoping it was kind of like push you into just being like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
which you did.
Yeah, I did.
So interview.
The interview. I've been a part of these interviews. This is the 3rd interview I've done actually. First time as a new character. First time was my first character, new LARPer, which was a bit of I didn't understand what the hell was going on. Second time, I just wanted to that was for practice. I was like, I'm going to run for the Griffin's Pride last year, I think. Yeah. Because,
you did Hounds, then Pride.
Yeah, but it was just for like I want to kind of get into this game. That's when I started probably adjuting. After that was like proper adjuting. And then I was like, okay, and then this one. And honestly, like, even on the first question, I was like, fuck, what am I doing? Like, like, because I feel like I know the lay of the land, right? And I know that interview process. And PV, I'm not going to say too much here, but like on a PvP scale, I know the purpose of the interview.
Yeah.
And even on the first question, I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I was like, I completely lost confidence. I was just like, I don't know whether I am the right person for this job.
You had like a little dip.
Yeah.
But you came back like really strong.
Yeah.
And that little dip you had, I think, kind of helped you a bit there. You kind of just like, you took a moment and you needed that time and then you just kind of went, no, I am here. I know what I'm doing. Done.
Well, it helped because then I heard what everyone else was saying, and I'm like, then I kind of had new energy to be like, oh no, actually, I do belong here. In fact, not only do I belong here, I'm very strong here. So, the rest of the interview went great, and yeah, then I became general.
Yeah.
Became general of the Golden Sun.
Newest general of the
yeah.
Golden Sun.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's still, it's still a little bit surreal, to be honest, because yeah, a lot of me is just like, oh, holy shit, this happened, but also the whole coming full circle as well of like my first ever LARP was in 2022. It was Empire, Winter Solstice. The Hounds of Glory were up for re-election. I didn't even know what an army was. I didn't even know what the virtues were. I didn't know anything, and I was just like, it was after COVID as well, So, and they were like, oh yeah, we need people to run against the incumbent, and I was just like, yeah, I'll do it, And I sat there and I learnt a lot, and I was like, oh right, okay, this is a lot, and I went to military council for first time that event, and I was like, well, this is really a lot. I don't know, I'm not ready for any of this, and then like 3 full years later, I become general. It's a thing is I and that's a different character as well in between that as well. So I think that set me back a little bit as well for it, but I feel like I needed that time anyway, because I went right, okay, and then even just the whole wobbling this event, and it's basically come from just a out of character fear of failure. That's basically all it is. It's just a I didn't think I could do it, even if people are saying, hey, you are the person for the job. I just was like, oh, I don't want to get in there and then fuck it up. I don't want to get in there and then
that's the thing, like the questions themselves, you smashed every question, but I feel like when it comes to becoming general, it's not just that, like, smashing that interview, it's everything you've done up to that point. I mean, like we say, like, obviously senators are not allowed in military council. They don't know what goes on there and what happens in there. But, the fact that, you're the one doing lance captions, the fact that you're the one running around speaking to people, the fact that you're the one, like, being vocal about it to this point, you're kind of shouting at them, hey.
Well, I mean, that was my tactic. Again, this is all in kind of in game stuff. So, it's something that people, if they want to come in and get involved in the game, please come and talk to us. Where it's anything to do with the politics of being senators or generals, blah blah blah. So I won't give away too much. And again, it runs differently depending on who is senator, who is general, things like that. But my current tactic for that one was basically like, like the senators aren't in military council.
Yeah.
That's the angle. Is like, this is like, I will tell you. I'll tell you how it works. This is why I'm good for the job. But yeah, it's like I said, it's more of a. I think as well in our house, we've got a lot of big personalities in our house. We've got high achievers in our house as well. So like in our house, obviously, you've got Morrigan, who's just loved everywhere, and then you have like yourself, just being iconic knight protectors. But with both your characters, and it's just like you've had that Imperial title for a long time. Lucan coming in last year, becoming senator straight away, and it's just like, this Mortez is senator, this Mortez is knight protector, and it's just like, I was just like, oh, how do I fit in here? Am I just doing this because I want a title too, or do I actually really want to do it? I think that was the main thing. It's like, because it's a lot of work that goes into it as well. It's a lot of out of character work that you have to make sure you're reading the winds and thinking about and understanding that part of the game. But as soon as I got it, like, the joy I felt was just like, oh, I did want this. I really wanted this. I actually really wanted this.
It was like a really lovely moment to watch when they came back to deliver that.
I wasn't confident at all when they.
Yeah, because you weren't even looking at them. You just didn't look like you were. You almost all like kind of didn't think you were the one, but like they all just kind of looked at you, and it seemed very much like they all just went straight to you, like you're obviously the one.
Yeah, I think in that moment I was like, I think it was perfect because it was like, and they talked a long time. It wasn't as if I was like, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I was like the clear. Oh yeah, it's obviously this person, because there was a lot of discussion. So there was obviously discussions about other candidates, and there was maybe reasons in character why people didn't want me in the position. Who knows?
Again, it's part of this PvP game.
Political PvP. So even the right person for the job, hey, like if a senator doesn't like you because you don't meet their ends, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I in that moment I was like, I did feel the vibe of just like in the moment where it feels the most important, I care the least, and that's usually a good omen. So I was just like, hey, look, I've done what I've done. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
That type of thing. And then got my generalship, and I was like, oh crap, that's my first Empire after playing for 3 full years and an event. Got my first Imperial hat. It just felt weird because I've known you having a hat for ages, and I know other people with hats. A lot of my friends that I've known for years now, and I consider close friends, are in the hat game and things like that. And just having one myself now, I'm just like, oh crap, I've got one. And it's still a little bit weird and surreal.
It was quite like funny after it because
Yeah.
you were kind of like, it was the one time in the event where you were like, I know where I'm running to right now. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you're almost like skipping over to.
So I mean, this is obviously a bit bittersweet as well because obviously I took the position from. Well, I mean, the position was vacant, but you know what I'm trying to say. I like the position was held by the general who I was adjutant for. Like, so I ran over to I just wanted to run over to Jeff's tent and just let him know.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was gutted that like Zoran went out the way he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well. So that was why it was a little bit bittersweet, in the fact that I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to run up and tell them that I've got it, because like he was kind of, if anyone was going to get it, he said he wanted, one of us to get it, So yeah, I got the Golden Sun tabard, that's been passed down through several Golden Sun. Because that's the thing, that they've held that title for a long time. Like Jeff's held that for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And then Strash held it for like a couple of years, I think, before that, so that's like a big freaking legacy to take on, so and then we were like, cool, let's go celebrate. But at this point it was like, by the time we did the election, by the time we got back, got some drinks from our camp, went over to like the Orzel tent, had a few conversations, went to Wise Guys to get like a drink, and then we sat down, didn't we, and we like processed in Wise Guys. Then it was like, I think it was at that point like midnight ish. Had a drink there. They had Brewdog.
Yeah, so like we'd run out of beer,
Oh,
and Wise Guys were out of beers and everything. And when it was like, I've actually got a few beers, if you want to buy them. We're like, I'm sitting there going, yeah, sure. Like, what do you got? Like thinking,
we've got an IPA. What kind of IPA?
I was thinking, I got an IPA, yeah, sure. They brought that blue can. I was just like, oh.
I will pay 2 thrones.
I will give you anything.
But that was the weird thing about this event. So we were like, right, okay, let's go have a wander, right? Because it's been a weird event because it was just up and down, wasn't it? We were just like, the emotions were high, low. Like, I don't know what we're doing. Oh, this has happened. Oh no, this person's getting revoked. Oh no, this crazy PvP thing happened. Oh no. And then it's like, and then it's suddenly like this big high, and we're like, oh, okay, things have changed. And then we're like, okay, well, let's go party. And then we were like, all right, we'll start heading out and see what's open, because we had a pint at Wise Guys in Dawn, and then we were like, walked through like, I think we went to Varushka. Everyone was in bed.
So we went to Varushka, went to see if we could find Balakov. Couldn't find Balakov. I couldn't find anything open, so we're like, all right, okay, let's go. We went to Marches after that. We thought, we'll go, Black Rat.
We'll get a drink in the Marches.
And go do that. Everything was shut. And we're like, okay, let's have, and it was kind of a lot of like a weird sort of wander around. We eventually ended up just being like, well, screw it, let's just go back to Dawn.
Well, we walked around pretty much all of Anvil apart from like Navarre and the Imperial Orcs. Everywhere was shut.
They don't like us right now.
I know. Well,
we didn't go there.
They like us. I mean, we had the red hands around. The red hands.
Oh
were
yeah, I was
like,
gonna say like earlier in the event, actually, we did have this sort of thing where like we've got like our red hand friends around, and they were all sitting around in our camp, and we did do a little bit of we addressed the elephant in the room essentially, and I, as Nymeria, pretty much said, we actually do disagree on this, but you're my friend. and you're my ally here. And we kind of all came to this same conclusion that I think out of character, none of us actually want to sit and fight and argue with each other. We're all friends and we all like playing the game together. So we'll address it. We'll find a way to get past it, and then we'll just carry on playing together because we're there to have fun.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what I was alluding to when I said earlier about like the scale of the game, and when you're in certain positions of PvP, you can't get away from it. Like so that's the perfect example of just like, we're on either side of this PvP. We'll have this little bit of PvP, and then we just move on. So when you've got like thousands of people like watching you do that, it's very difficult to move on. But anyway, yeah, Saturday night, I don't know what's going on with Amble.
Yeah, like it was dead.
It was so quiet. Like there was tents shut. I think, to be fair, like E1, I think a lot of places had been drunk dry, which doesn't help. But yeah, a lot of, like, literally, even before timeout, like, there was, at 12:30, there was, like, tents or bars closed. And I was like, what's good? And the weather, compared to last year, the weather was disgusting.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely disgusting. This event was on the Saturday night. It was actually mild on the Saturday night.
We all got sunburnt.
Yeah.
And then it was, like, warm most nights. So then the first night was a bit chilly, but yeah.
Thursday, Friday was cold at night, but not like it has been.
Yeah.
No wind or anything like that. But then Saturday, it was actually mild to walk around. You could just walk around in just like cloak and you'd be fine. But yeah, everywhere was shut, and I was like, what's going on to Amble? You know, usually music's going on this time and whatever, and we end up walking all the way back, especially when the weather's good. So we walked all the way back to Wise Guys, and by the time we walked all the way back to Wise Guys, it was time out. But weirdly enough, Dawn was the only place that was still kind of time in-ish.
Oh yeah, the Gavains had a bard playing there, or Zealots had like stuff going on there. Wise Guys had a few things, and we were like, yeah, screw it, let's just grab a couple of drinks. So we went over and saw like Kyle and everything, and like
sat around the fire, didn't we?
We came back,
Brushkins with Rusty Compass and Shoebag.
And Shoebag.
Yeah.
We sat with Shoebag, who honestly is a brilliant bloody musician. He really is. It's annoyingly good.
Inappropriate songs about I swore
twisting nipples.
Oregon. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was Saturday. We better move on if we want to cover what we did Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So yeah, weird night, weird day Saturday.
Again, we had like another evening of just like the house group, like the four of us sitting around the fire with marshmallows, having a drink, and
that's why I think we hardly got any sleep. I think because we had such like a serious event where it was so intense, the PvP was so intense, and it was lots of like adrenaline was just going up and down, that I feel like when it was time out and we were round the fire with just our little mates in our group, that was important because that's when we had a laugh.
We needed that time just to sit and chill out and stuff, and just
from like 1 until 4 a.m. It's like every night it was like, this is the important bit, is like sitting by the fire and just having a laugh with mates, basically, to like offset the seriousness of the rest of the event. Because it is type 2 fun, a lot of it. But anyways, yes, Sunday, we ended up monstering.
Yeah.
Because we got up late. We didn't feel well because, one, we'd stayed up late, and it was a heavy weekend. We weren't feeling overly well, were we?
So it got to the morning, and we were going to RAF. I knew, so this was the battle where all the Dawnish that supported the army against the Raven were basically going to die.
Well, we haven't really talked about the trial, have we?
We haven't really talked about
the trial, we couldn't hear anything. There was a trial for Arcavian and all the people that went to throw the Raven out and supported the Griffin's Pride. We couldn't hear anything. There was hundreds of people in our Glory Square. It wasn't dramatic because I couldn't hear anything. You know, I'm sure it was a great game for the people involved and all that. I couldn't hear bugger all. No idea. But we knew that they had all been sentenced basically to death by Sentinel Gate. Right, so
yeah, they were given a choice of we can kill you now, or you can go through the gate. One person chose to be killed there and then. Said some pretty dramatic things at the end, so people can role play that one out and find out what that's all about. And the rest of them decided to go through the gate. I decided, because I was like, I really wanted to ref. I really loved refing last time. Wasn't feeling that great. And to be honest, I just don't think I could be reffing in a battle where I was literally watching my friends' characters die. I couldn't do it. I know it's pretend, okay? Yeah. I know it's pretend. I couldn't stand there as a ref and watch my friends' characters die. Likewise, I couldn't fight against my friends' characters. I couldn't do it.
No.
So we decided to do a part of the game that we've never done before.
It was just like, would just be long. Because I could barely walk. Like my legs and my hips were really struggling all weekend anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of played to it on Friday because I was like, I'm under the effects of weakness.
Yeah, weakness.
I had weakness. But yeah, like I was struggling I was going to struggle to fight anyway. And then I wasn't feeling that great. You weren't feeling that great. Again, like you said, I didn't really want to monster and like try and stab the Dornish that were there.
Yeah,
and
I couldn't do it.
I was like, you know what, we'll just be healers. So we were little like Jotun thralls doing healing stuff, you know. So no combat, and I could just hobble around, just hobble around in the back lines, cheering on the Jotun. One thing I do have to point out, or have to bring up on the podcast because I thought it was amazing and hilarious, right? So the Jotun, they have this chant usually, like it goes Jotun. Jotun.
Yeah.
Right. So as we're preparing to monster, there was like a unit. I don't know whether they were like an EMU. They must have been an EMU because they were too well organized.
Beautiful.
So there was this unit of Jotun. They're all lined up and they start doing these like exercise movements, these flexibility movements, and they're all going yoga.
They were so beautifully in sync. It was hilarious.
It wasn't even like out of character silly. It was just really good. It was just hilarious.
It was amazing.
It was one of the highlights of the weekend.
I was watching the Jotun do yoga.
I fucking love the Jotun. The Jotun is so cool. I don't like fighting them. I like monstering as them.
Yeah.
They're quite fun. So yeah, I mean, we just did little healer guys, didn't we?
Run in and like run away from things and running at things and heal people. It was great fun.
As a healer, I spent most time getting healed. Everyone kept shooting me.
Look how good they shot you.
Yeah, the brass coach just wanted to shoot me all the time. I was just like, spent the whole time just on the floor getting healed. I'm like, the irony. I'm supposed to be here getting healed.
Here's a healer. I don't want to fight.
Yeah. And I think that was all hunky dory that battle. So
yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else to say really about that battle? I think we got wiped out pretty quickly, didn't we? The Empire seemed to be like on a roll in that battle. They were just like
There was a little bit of like a stagnant like start to it where I was like, I could count like on one hand how many actual Jotun warriors there were. And then there was a few of us healers at the back. I was like, they could just walk right into us all. We'd all be gone. I think that kind of slowed a little bit at the start. But apart from that, they pretty much just rolled everyone and that was it. They pushed us into it. I was like, we're running back. I was like, I feel like we're going to run into an invisible barrier soon.
Oh, no, yeah. They pushed us off the map,
They pushed us off the map, yeah. They basically, I was like, yeah, you're all dead.
Yeah. Fun times. Came back, got a shower. I was so tired. I can't believe how tired I was. This is the most tired I've ever been at any Empire. It was stressful and emotional, and it was up and down. And we hardly got any sleep throughout the entire event. I think it doesn't help that it's like E1 and everyone's like excited because they're back from a long break.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But yeah, and then it was a case of crap, I've got a job to do now. Because I was like crapping myself. I'm like, right, I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing, because I've got an actual like job to go do and go to military council. But pretty much like Sunday, I found this out really like last event, adjuting and going to every military council. Like if you have an imperial title, most of them, the Sunday is complete and that's a write-off for anything else you want to do apart from just trying to get the last bits and pieces done.
Yeah.
There's not much else you can do really because you only got like 3 hours basically after especially if you're monstering, battling or whatever. So yeah, it's just military council is just put your orders in. So I got to put my first orders in.
Yeah. How did you feel about doing that then? First orders.
I couldn't screw it up. So it's all on the wins now.
So it turns out the Golden Sun are going to go and
no, they're not going to do. They're not doing anything crazy. It's basically we're just going to resupply. I was just like, well, I can't screw these orders up. just go to Astolat, resupply. At least.
Yeah, it's a party in Astolat currently. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we got seven armies.
Seven armies?
Yeah,
Armies.
seven armies chilling out in Astolat, doing resupply stuff and mana stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't really screw that one up because it would have been difficult if we were right in the middle of like a complicated like attack kind of plan or something halfway through, and then we changed general. That would have been it was all right because we've got our asses kicked and thrown in. All there was to do really. I mean, there was lots of things I could have done, I guess, but it was really quite straightforward. I couldn't screw that up.
Yeah.
Go resupply, done. So yeah, I mean, going forward on this podcast, I obviously don't want anything that I do on the podcast to interfere with what I'm doing in military council.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one actually with the podcast because we just talk about it's going to be a lot easier than things like Menhirs where we just play like silly paladins that run around and just hit things. It's a lot easier to speak about, without it affecting our game at all, But now that we're going to be doing lots of military council stuff, we'll probably be just talking about the bits in between.
Yeah, we'll share all the stories of everything that's happening in between, and then the bits of military council that can quite openly be shared, things that are on the wiki and out there anyway.
Yeah,
kind of go into those sort of details and the little fun bits, the little fun chats in there and stuff like that. There's a few things we can
it's a
probably
political
share.
PvP game, and there are agendas that everyone pushes, like me included. It's a PvP game, so there are things that I want as a general. I do not want, even inadvertently or unintentionally, to be putting ideas out there that might affect people's thinking.
Yeah. Yes.
If that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, my opinion is this on the Druge or this or the Robyn or blah, blah, blah. And then that be translated and then that kind of filter down into, anybody's out of character ideas of what Damon wants when I go speak to them in the field. Okay, so I'm going to be quite coy about what I talk about in military council from now on. I mean, the generalship is up for election in 2 events time. I might only be general for 2 events, so we'll see what happens. What was, I mean, you were pretty much you're just a little adjutant wife now, right?
Yeah, adjutant wife, husband and wife duo in the military council. Like, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? But that pretty much took up our whole event, really. Then wasn't it? It was just like taking stock and being like, wow, that was a crazy event. Crazy. I literally had no idea how I was going to end up this event. And let's be real, I didn't know how I felt about Empire. How much I was enjoying Empire and my character. I was honestly thinking about having thoughts about backup characters and things like that. What else I would want to do in Empire, where I'd want to go, what I'd want to do. We've got the new site coming up next year with as many years now that we really enjoy. We're going to go to that. So yeah, I was really kind of going, what am I thinking about Empire currently? And coming out of it, I'm like, oh, well, I have there's a clear direction now for Empire, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that was kind of us at the end there, actually. I mean, there was a little bit then that I kind of got to do, which was interact with the militia, which I have never done before. And I got to have...
You're naughty.
No. It was... so I don't... Obviously, because I know the militia is a mixture of players, and there's also some NPC characters there as well. But it was a Mara that I was role playing with towards the end there, because I'd seen something, and I was a witness to something, and I got to tell them about this something, which was quite cool actually, because I was I'm standing there at the Wolfborn tent, with my hand on one of the dead, and I'm standing there, and then someone's like, Namiri, the militia want to speak to you, and I'm like, shit, think I did anything, did I? I might have done something. And then I realized why they wanted to speak to me. And it was
Why
like,
did they want to speak to you?
because I witnessed something.
What did you witness?
Witness somebody because at the start of this episode you literally said about the fact that it's it's hardly any like physical PvP. Well, yeah, like they basically a fight occurred outside of the Glory Square where somebody did attack somebody else, and I witnessed it, and I was just like, no, that's not how we handle things. We do not deal with it this way. And like Nymeria was very much like, no, absolutely not. So then I got to like witness that and everything. They were like, can you sign here? And I'm like, I don't know what Nymeria's signature looks like.
Oh yeah, the Senator of the Barons got executed. I totally forgot about that. That's
Senator of the Barons got executed. Oh my god, yes.
That's why I was stressed. Yeah, I was trying to think. I was really stressed. That's why I was stressed.
Yeah.
Because I got elected as general on the late Saturday night.
Yeah.
The following day, I come back from battle monstering, and then I hear the Senator of the Barons has died. And what I said at the start of this podcast, all the senators need to be there to go, okay, that's the general. So I didn't know whether I'd been actually officially named as general, because you have to like go to the hub and go, right, okay, like, and tell the civil service this is who the senators have picked.
Yeah.
But if the senators hadn't done that yet, and then the senator had like been assassinated, I wouldn't then be general. So I like had a little mini panic and went, oh no. So I like ran to the egregore, then ran to the hub, and it was all fine. They'd kind of I can't remember the word now, but they'd verified it before they got assassinated. But yeah, that throws another spanner in the works now. So we've got no Senator of the Barons, which makes next event even more crazy and complicated. So yeah, wild. Oh, we got a little ritual done as well. We got a summer ritual.
We had a summer ritual done.
Yeah, because we were bored of winter. Basically, we wanted to go adventuring, didn't we? So we got a cool summer coven that we know to. Well, I didn't. The Yo folk sorted out.
The Yo folk sorted out.
Yo folk sorted out. Dragged us out of military council. We got Heroes Feast cast on us, which was fun. Even though I acted grumpy, I was having fun.
Yes, we were having fun. We're just trying to get back to military council, but
I was like, when is this over? When are we doing this ritual? Okay, is it done? Good. Bye. I've got things to do. But no, I did enjoy that ritual. So we're going on with the military units are going off adventuring.
Yeah.
To get some money and some mana, because we need it. We always need
it. We need mana. Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yes, I think that's everything there. Yeah. So
wild event.
Yeah, that's
weird wild event.
I would say it was quite a heavy one, actually. It was the first event in a long time where we've needed a lot of OC breaks throughout the event.
Yeah,
where that has been needed.
Yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, I think on the Saturday, I think that's what took up a lot of time. Saturday, kind of like dinner time. We were like, let's go get something to eat, and then we saw Jamie as well.
We did.
Podcast guest was our like second Empire podcast guest.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
years ago
in
Navarre. We had a catch up OC, and we were talking about the stresses of being at this stage at LARP, and he was like, "Oh, you've had your jaded LARPer phase. Don't worry." He's like, "It'll come round again.
Come round again."
Yeah, just the different. And I'm conscious, like doing this podcast as well, like how, enthusiastic. Like I don't want to obviously. I think I'm still enthusiastic for Empire. But it's different, and
yeah.
This is the thing. I'm like, oh, the whole my nation's on fire, and I'm stressed about this. This is type 2 fun. This is crazy PvP. I've got this job to do. I'm getting all anxiety about like having like interviews and things like that, and I'm nervous. But then I'm like, oh, is it different? It's different for us because I see new players. And they're having the same great time that we had 3 years ago.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
They're like, oh, I went to Songs and Stories. I did this. I went on a skirmish. And they're having like you see like the comments on like socials and things like that of people that went to their first event. And they're just like, Empire, I love Empire. It's great. We did this and we did that. And I'm part of like a coven, or I did this. And I'm like, no, that experience is still there. We've just stepped into a different experience now.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll come back around again, and we'll there's still a lot of firsts for us to kind of go through as well and everything. but
Oh, yeah,
like
100%, yeah.
like this part of the game that we're in now. So we'll see.
Yeah. We're continuing the story. This is the thing. That's the thing. I think before you get fear of just like being stagnant in the story. At least when you progress and you're like, oh, okay, well we're one step closer to the end of this story. Where the end is, we don't know currently, but it's a change. The story is progressing. So we're keen. And at the start of this year, we were like, you know what? There's a new Fest LARP starting. We're gonna try that. I can't really see us being able to afford or have the time or have the keen or energy to do 2 Fest LARPs. We'll see how we'll do E1 of Men Here's Fate and E1 of Empire and see how we feel. Unfortunately, the worst thing happened. We're keen for both of them.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're being dragged into Men Here's and Empire this year. But it's exciting. We've got Men Here's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I'm like super excited.
Can't wait for that. Can't wait for Empire E2 either in 6
Flower
weeks' time.
Festival.
The Flower Festival. What we got plans for the general side of the game. What's coming to Empire. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Right, should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you tell us so in the comments. Drop a like. Leave a subscribe. Just leave. Just leave. Was it that funny? What the fuck? Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, share this episode around. If you're listening on an audio platform, give us the stars. Go check out the Patreon. Go use that referral code if you're thinking about coming to Empire LARP. Stay tuned for Men Here stuff coming your way as well. Until then, though, we love you very much and stay safe. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.